All right, let's talk about connecting SailPoint with Microsoft Entra SSO. We're going to take a high-level guided tour of this whole integration. You can think of this as the map you'd want to have before you start the technical journey, right? It gives you a clear view of all the landmarks and, most importantly, the final destination. So let's unfold that map and get started.
So here's our plan. First, we'll talk about the destination. What's the why behind this whole thing? Then we'll scout out the terrain by discovering all the applications involved. After that, we'll get into the main event, the core connection process. We'll even take a quick look at a specialized route for government clouds before we recap the entire journey.
First things first, let's set our destination. Before we dive deep into the technical how, it is absolutely crucial to understand the why. What's the main objective here? Why are we even connecting SailPoint and Microsoft Entra in the first place? And here it is, the big idea. It is all about centralization and control. The main goal is to take all those applications that use Microsoft Entra for single sign-on and bring them under SailPoint's identity governance umbrella. This is a game changer because it means when an employee changes roles or leaves the company, their access to every single one of those apps is updated or revoked automatically, instantly. Okay, so we know our goal. The first logical stop on our journey has to be discovery. Before you can govern anything, you've got to know what's actually out there, right? This means creating a complete inventory of every single application in your environment. So this process, application discovery, is pretty much what it sounds like. It's all about finding every single app that uses Microsoft Entra for SSO. But don't let the simple name fool you. This isn't just some preliminary check-the-box step. This creates the foundational inventory that the entire integration is built on. Get this wrong, and nothing else matters. Now that we've found our applications, it's time to get to the heart of the matter, the core connection process. Let's actually walk through how we build this bridge step by step.
This brings up a really important question for anyone about to tackle this project. What does this process actually look like? What are the different phases I need to plan for to get this thing from start to finish?
Well, the path forward is actually a pretty clear 6-phase process. It all starts in SailPoint, where you add the discovery connector. From there, you lay down the base configuration, you dial in all the connection and administrator settings, handle any other additional configs, and then, and this is critical, you wrap it up with a thorough review and test to make sure everything is humming along perfectly. Now hold on, before we wrap this all up, it's really important to look at a slightly different path. See, not every organization is on a standard commercial cloud. So there's a specialized route for those with very specific compliance and security requirements. The key difference here is pretty straightforward. The standard path, that's the default for most people using the commercial Microsoft Entra service. But if you're using Azure Government, you'll need to follow a very specific configuration for those specialized endpoints. It's a small detail, but it's a crucial one to know about right from the beginning. And just like that, we've covered the entire map, from where you start to the different routes you might take. So let's zoom out one last time and recap the key landmarks of this whole process, just to bring it all together. So if you're going to take anything away, it's these essential stages. You start with the big picture strategy, setting your governance goal. You build your foundation by discovering your SSO apps. You do the technical heavy lifting with that 6-phase connection process. You account for any special needs, like government clouds, and you always finish with a thorough review and test. This quote really gets to the heart of it. A successful integration isn't just about flipping a switch and making a technical connection. No way. It's about achieving real, actual control and visibility. That's how you stop unauthorized access and make sure that when someone's role changes, their permissions change right along with it, everywhere, all at once. So we've mapped out the how of making this connection happen. The real question we want to leave you with is about the what. Now that you have this incredibly powerful governance tool at your disposal, where are you going to start? Which applications and what type of access are you going to secure first?